Hey guys, welcome back to Reclaim Games. I am Dustin, here with Griffin. We are back from vacation, much needed vacation. Everyone give Griffin your congratulations. He just got engaged, so he did it on a boat. It was a beautiful moment. So give him some congrats. Anyways, today we are here to review Spider-Man for you. The way it's going to work is I'm going to give my review first, and then Griffin is going to give his after that. We each did our own reviews, and then we're going to convene together, and we're going to have a little spoiler discussion. The reviews will be spoiler light, so you can watch those without getting any like major story beats spoiled for you. So if you want to know how the game is before we go into the spoiler discussion, you can check that out, and then peace out once we start talking about the spoilers. So yeah. Y'all enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and give my review now. Alright, so it's finally here. Spider-Man PS4 is out. The game is developed by Insomniac Games, the studio behind Ratchet & Clank and Sunset Overdrive, and it's published by Sony, so it's a PS4 exclusive. You can really see a lot of Insomniac's DNA here through the traversal and open world they created in the game. It's kind of similar to Sunset Overdrive and everything. So the opening of Spider-Man really sets a tone for what the game's going to be. We start out with young adult Peter Parker. He's in a studio apartment. It's kind of a mess in there. He gets woken up by a police scanner saying something about Fisk's Tower. We had this great moment where Peter smells his spider suit and it just smells like shit. He gets like thrown a late rent notice under the door, so you see he's kind of like behind on his bills. He doesn't really have his shit together, but he's still making the best of it. And then we're off, swinging through New York, and boy does it feel good. Insomniac absolutely nailed the traversal and how it should feel to be the web slinger, barreling through the Big Apple at top speeds. The momentum you can achieve through dives and jumps and web zips and other skills you unlock later just make it feel so good. The only thing I don't really like about the traversal is the wall climbing. It's not as intuitive as the web swinging, and by contrast, it sticks out like a sore thumb. After that, we get the combat, which, let's be honest, is kind of similar to Rocksteady's Batman Arkham games, albeit a little bit simpler. There are different enemy types which vary the combat up a little bit, but pretty much all the enemies except bosses can be taken down in the same kind of fashion. Regardless, all the moves you acquire from your skill tree mean there's always a new way to kick someone's ass, and I rarely found the combat getting stale. So next, let's touch on the story a little bit. Like I said, this is going to be spoiler light, so there's not going to be too much here until we get to the discussion at the end. But wow, what a fantastic job Insomniac did with the story in this game. It's truly a labor of love, and obvious a lot of care was put into the characters. As I said, we begin this game with young adult Peter, so it's not an origin story. Pete's been Spidey for about 8 years when we first see him, and what an excellent choice that was. We got to skip all the stuff we've seen dozens of times on screen, and we get to the good stuff. All the characters around Peter were well fleshed out and believable, especially MJ and Otto. The dialogue was so well done, and the facial animations and models for the cutscenes were some of the best I've ever seen in a game.
How are things with MJ?
Oh, it's well, she's it's complicated.
Honesty. That's what got me and Ben through the rough patches.
You guys had rough patches?
Oh, sure. Especially when we were your age. So, are you honest with her? Does she know the real you?
I really enjoyed the suit system as well. There are something like 25 or 30 unlockable suits as you progress through the game, and each one comes with a unique power. For instance, the Iron Spider suit from Avengers has the extra arms that come out of your back, or the White Spider suit you unlock after the intro has the power to generate focus, which you can use for takedowns or to heal during a fight. Once you unlock a suit, the power is unlocked across all suits, so you don't have to look ridiculous to use a cool power. You can wear the suit you like and use the power you like. Every suit also has 3 mod slots, which allow for even further customization. And then there's also a skill tree, which isn't incredibly deep, but it does open up the combat and traversal quite a bit once you unlock everything. So let's talk about that open world for a little bit. Man, did they nail New York. The city is sprawling and there's always something to do, ranging from stopping a break-in to taking down a Sable outpost. There's side missions as well, and a ton of other stuff like Oscorp research stations. There's police towers, which function similar to towers in any other open world. Once you complete them, it kind of reveals the map and everything you can do in that area. And then there's the Taskmaster challenges, which are just various challenges that test your skill in like stealth and combat and other things. And then let's not forget the backpacks, which I thoroughly enjoyed collecting, because every one you get, Peter gives a couple sentences of dialogue about the item in the bag, so you get to fill in some of the 8-year backstory we didn't get to see. It's not the best open world I've seen, but it's far from the worst, and it has enough to do to keep things fresh until you get to the end of the game, and then things start to get a little bit repetitive, but for the most part, it's pretty solid all the way through. I'll get into a little bit more detail, obviously, during our discussion, but I'd say overall this game is definitely worth a playthrough. This is easily the best Spider-Man game we've ever gotten, and in my opinion, it surpasses the Arkham games as the best superhero game it's gotten. So, I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10, and I'm going to pass it off to my boy Griffin.
Hey guys, welcome to Reclaim. Good to see you guys again. This game, for me personally, was a blast of fresh air, considering I've been pretty much only playing Overwatch and a little bit of Fortnite here and there for the past like 3 months. I've been waiting for this one since E3 dropped the release date. Honestly, I wasn't like, oh my god, Spider-Man, but after buying and playing through this game, I have to say Insomniac did an amazing job. From the combat to the story, it was all around solid. I love that in between gameplay, the cutscenes kept my attention and made me feel like I was watching a movie. I also love that there was always something going on in the city between and after story missions. There's definitely enough content to have you busy and entertained for a while. Something I don't like was that you can follow 200 and something stories and not take any fall damage. This is a very small complaint, and other than that, physics are awesome. I love this game and had a lot of fun playing it. I give this game a 9 out of 10. If you haven't copped a copy of Spider-Man on PS4, make sure you do that today.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Great review. All right. Yeah, so we both gave it 9s, as you can see. Oh, and by the way, we are done with the spoiler-free section of the review. So if that's where you're getting off, then thanks for watching, and come back after you beat the game for the spoiler discussion. And if you're here for the full ride, let's strap in, ladies and gentlemen. So what
on that note, bro, on that note, what you said about how great a job they did with the city, like, wow, like, yeah. Everything's covered for, like, you literally feel like you're exploring New York City for one. That's amazing within itself.
And like, dude, there's so many little like the fact that that game was only in development for like 3.5 years blows my mind. But like, there's so many like small little Easter eggs everywhere. Like, I'm sure you saw. I mean, it's one of the trophies.
I saw a few, but honestly, I watched a video today of all of them, and I missed pretty much all of them. Which I knew, there'd be ones I missed because I've never been,
huge into comics or anything.
I've never been a comic book fan. Right. Yeah, so yeah. Just never
like,
my thing, but
like Avengers Tower and shit like that was like, oh my god, that is so fucking cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That, and then when Stan Lee
yes, the Stan Lee
came
cameo.
into the into the story, dude. That was fucking cool.
Yes, the Stan Lee cameo was fantastic. Like, first of all, one of the most well rendered like face models I've ever seen in a game. Like, that was spot on Stan Lee. Like,
right? It was like watching a movie, man.
That was crazy, dude. Yeah, and then
it was
cool.
It was
great. You two were always my favorite. Yeah. And then like, yeah, and everyone else, like, oh man, dude, like, I love Peter's relationship with MJ. Like, I love that, like, they're both.
I know. It's finally just like, yeah, it's chill, It's not like on it. I mean, it is for a minute. Like, when you're playing, there's one part where they're like kind of mad at each other, but it's like, I don't know. I've never experienced that with Spider-Man. It was always like,
yeah,
I want to be with MJ.
It was like, okay, so they had already broken up or whatever, and it was like, they're like, it seems like they broke up because he didn't really know how to balance being Spider-Man with being Peter Parker, So like, I really enjoyed that, like, it was just like, yeah, there's history there, but like, they both clearly just want to be with each other, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's like,
right.
Like, it was so good, man. It was so good. And I like that they made her like a reporter and a badass instead of just like an actress, model, damsel in distress,
I liked that the story was just everywhere. Like, there was so much going on. Like, it wasn't just like point A to point B, like, it was great.
Yeah, I really loved Aunt May as well. Aunt May was awesome.
Yes.
Super sweet, caring person. The ending, man. Tore me apart, man. It tore me apart.
It's still viable. We'll need the entire sample as a base to produce more doses.
How long will that take?
A few hours. Maybe a day.
What if we use it to cure someone right now?
Then there won't be enough to cure the others. I'll give you a few minutes.
You're gonna be okay, ma'am. I've got the cure right here.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
You knew?
I've known for a while.
I never wanted you to worry.
I did. And I am so proud of you. And Ben would be too. All the people you've saved.
I don't know what to do.
Yes, you do.
Like, what a great fucking
Still
superhero
hurting.
ending, dude. Because, like, that just proves, like, that Spider-Man is, you know, the hero we deserve or whatever.
The
'Cause
man.
It's like, no,
Right.
dude, he made the toughest call you could ever make, man. He made the hardest call you could ever make. He let someone he personally loves and cares about die for the greater good, for more people to live, you know. And it's like, oh, man, that was rough. Like, when he just, like, laid there, like, sobbing next to her, and then the screen goes black, and then it flatlines, you're just like, oh, man, it was so good, dude.
You
Oh,
didn't make
it
me
was
cry.
So good. Oh, I cried. I cried hard during that. And then, obviously, a little bit before that, the Doc Ock fight, man, it was powerful, because, like,
That was.
I mean, I knew, obviously, you see Otto Octavius and you're like, all right, I know where this is going. You know, like, as soon as I saw him in the thing, I was like, well, fuck, we're going to be fighting this guy later. But, like, they did such a good job of making me care about their relationship, too. Like, man, Peter really just looked up to Otto, like, saw him
Yeah.
as a hero, and watching Otto's fall from greatness, you know, because, like, there were moments in there where you're like, oh, is he going to do it now? And then he'd be like, no, and then he'd go back and he'd be like, no,
Yeah,
Otto's
I
like
know.
a really good person, dude. He's like a really good person at heart, but then, like, these fucking...
It's so weird.
It is, man. He's a really good person
But then,
at heart,
like,
but
at the end, you're like, where did that go? You know, like.
the fucking...
just-
I mean, Peter warned him, like, whatever, like, the neural thing that he was doing to control the fucking... I don't know. I can't remember exactly the science or whatever, but he was like, that shit fucks with your mood. It, like...
Oh, yeah. When
He
he was
basically
checking
said-
on his well-being.
Yeah, he basically said, like, the hate for Norman had always been there for Otto. But, like, the whatever, the neural thing, like, enhanced it, and, like, that just made it, like, all he could think about. And so, like, then everything else, he just went crazy, basically. And he was like, he saw Peter as a traitor and all that shit. I was like, man, that's
Yeah.
so sad. Yeah, so MJ was awesome. I didn't particularly love when we had to play as MJ. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would by the end.
I liked it. I thought it was really cool at first, and then when it got towards the end, I was like, I'm kind of over that. And playing
Sure.
as
Miles.
the other guy, Yeah. Yep.
And Miles Morales, man, what a star! I can't wait for 2, man. I hope we get to play as him in 2, man.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, they were really gonna do something cool with him.
Yeah, he's always been like one of my favorite Spider-Men, but I was excited. I thought they were gonna drag it out. Dude, I really for like a split second, I thought they were gonna do like the Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl thing with MJ, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, when she was like, let's be a team.
Yeah, and then she had like the
Yeah.
spider crawling on her and shit. Remember? And I was just like, oh.
Yes. What was the deal with that?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier. Like, and they never mentioned that again.
It dropped. Remember, it dropped off of her and then fell on Miles, and then he got bit, and that's why he's at the end. Did you see you saw the last scene, right? Like the very last scene
Missed that part.
where Miles is Spider-Man.
No,
Or he's like a spider.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see the last scene, dude?
I didn't see that.
Oh my god!
Fuck.
Like no, Peter goes over to his apartment to help him move in or something like that, and he's like, hey Peter, I have to talk to you about something I can't show anyone else. And then he like fucking jumps onto the ceiling and like holds on to it. and then Peter's like, he was like, weird, right? And then Peter fucking does it too right next to him, and he's like, not that weird. That was like the very last scene. Like it was after the credits, I think.
I fucking missed it.
So yeah, Miles is definitely like a Spider-Man.
I need to go. There's got to be a way I can watch that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube. Yeah, I loved Miles though. That whole arc with his dad, like, you know, sacrificing himself with the. And by the way, that terrorist act in the beginning was brutal, man. Or like midway through.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe they went for that all the way.
Glad they did.
For sure. What else was there? Oh, Norman. I really liked. I liked what they did with Norman being mayor and like, just like you just don't know how corrupt this shit goes, man. Because like when you see it.
Wasn't Norman Green Goblin?
Yeah. In that first movie.
Okay,
So, anyways, I mean that won't always be the case. I'm sure. We'll see how it goes. It looks like. So, did you see the end part where Norman goes up to Harry? He has him like in his facility or whatever.
yeah.
And he goes
He's
up
like,
to him,
I'll
and
find a cure.
and then that thing like hits the window. Like at the
Yeah,
end.
the web.
Yeah.
It looked like a web.
I'm thinking that looks a lot like the symbiote, however you pronounce it, like that turns that dude into Venom. Like, are they gonna make Harry Osborn Venom in the next game? I don't know, man. I don't know. That was some interesting shit, though. So, but I really liked Norman's character. He's just like, see, he looked like an evil son of a bitch, like from the surface. But when you like go back and you see like, oh, he's just making this devil's breath because he doesn't want to lose someone else. He's just trying to save Harry, you know. That shit was like, I don't know. Makes you think.
Whole nother perspective.
For sure. But I mean, how many people had to die for him to make that? And obviously, like as we saw,
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Spider-Man
like obviously, like
yeah,
he's wrong, but
yeah, Spider-Man, Peter Parker made the right choice. He let someone he loves die to save more people, whereas this guy's killing people to save someone he loves. And it's like, well, yeah, we've seen the other side, so we know you're doing the right thing.
we need more Spider-Man.
How'd you feel about Martin Lee, Mr. Negative?
I thought it was really annoying.
Yeah,
his henchmen were really annoying to fight, and
the demons.
He was really.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the demons. What difficulty did you play on, by the way?
I played on the highest for like a quarter of the way through, and I was like, "Fuck this."
And you went back to amazing. Yeah, I played on spectacular all the way through. Personally, I didn't find it that hard, but like, yeah, it was very annoying. There were definitely times when I got overwhelmed, and like, I really like that they made it where like you can get, if there's like 3 guys trying to hit you at once, you're not gonna be able to dodge them all, and like, they'll fuck you the fuck up. And on spectacular difficulty, like it was like 3 or 4 punches and you're done, you know.
Yeah.
So did you like the puzzles? You like the puzzles at all?
Yeah, I liked them a lot, honestly.
Yeah, they weren't too difficult and they were interesting enough that it wasn't like boring.
When I first started having to do the like start adding the voltages, that kind of threw me off. But once I figured it out, it was fun.
Yeah, exactly. And once you like, you can literally just connect everything and then just interchange the circuits out. So you were just like, oh, I can just like mix and match and figure out what
Yeah,
works.
I love the ones where like you had to go a complete opposite direction and like figure out which way you're supposed to go. I thought that was.
Yeah,
I thought it was different.
the puzzles weren't bad at all. Like I saw some people complaining.
I like puzzles, so I mean, like I could see why people wouldn't like them, but
Sure.
I enjoy it.
I agree. What else was there? I like the outposts. I like the waves, you know, and I like that those are repeatable too. So if you fuck up, you can go back and get more tokens. I like the token system also.
Right.
That you get tokens for different things, and those different things unlock different suits or abilities or whatever, you know, and I like that a lot. What else is there, man? Oh, how'd you feel about I mean, I know you're not a huge comics fan, so it doesn't mean too much to you. How'd you feel about J. Jonah Jameson? What they did with him? The dude that does the podcast that just talks shit about you most of the time.
Oh, dude, that shit was hilarious. Honestly,
Yeah.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
I liked what they did with him because, you know, usually he runs the Bugle, and he used to.
It just adds to the whole, you know, Spider-Man thing. Like people take him for granted, you know, like it just
sure.
makes you think about, you know, all kinds of stuff.
And also, honestly, he had a lot of good points. He did have a lot of good points.
Yeah, it's like it just
because there's two sides to every story. Yeah, I like that. Like whenever he was facing off with Fisk, and like he puts Fisk away. Fisk was like, without me, the criminals I kept in check are gonna run rampant, and you're gonna wish I was back or whatever. And it was like, yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like if everyone's trying to play king for a week, how much damage is the city gonna take or whatever? Like, it's crazy to think an entire criminal empire falls in one night, and like there's just a ton of people on the street, and like yeah, there's a ton of good points. J. Jonah Jameson killing it. I love the backpacks, like I said in my review.
Menace or
What?
threat?
Oh, menace or threat?
Menace or threat? You can't be a menace without being a threat. You can't be a threat without being a menace.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. What else was there?
Modelo time.
Modelo time, fool.
Did you read any of the social media things, like posts?
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't realize that was happening until about halfway through the game, but once I did, I was on there.
Same, but then I was like reading back through all of it, and I was laughing
funny.
my ass off.
Yeah, it was hilarious because it was like anything I do, even like stopping one of the crimes on the street that I ran into, it'd be like somebody like tweeted about it, and like they'd be like so Spider-Man ripped my door off and threw it at some bad guys. Is that covered in my insurance or some shit like that?
That shit made me think too.
I was like, damn, dude, damn. Oh, did you find the Doctor Strange thing? The Sanctum Sanctorum or whatever the fuck it's called? That's in the game, dude. The fucking Doctor Strange building with the big window, and he's like, it's called this. Yeah, he like it's one of the locations you take a picture of, and
hidden locations.
Or it's just one of the ones on the map that you like have to take a picture of, and then it's
the landmark.
Landmark. There you go. And he's like, oh, the blah 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 Sanctorum. He's like, that's a really cool window they got, but I always feel like something weird's going on in there. He says that.
I went through all my landmarks so fast I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, so that one's cool, and then obviously Avengers Tower. But when he's on Avengers Tower, he's like, man, I don't even know where the Avengers are right now. They had this tower, but they're never here. I think they're like on the West Coast right now. So I'm like, remember during E3, I told you Square Enix has an Avengers game in development, right? So I'm wondering, Is this game gonna tie into other Marvel games, just like they have their movie universe? Is this gonna be like a game universe
That'd be awesome.
they're building?
I hope so.
And like this Spider-Man is gonna be in the Avengers game or whatever. I'm just getting my hopes up.
It's looking good for gaming.
It is, but also I don't know because it's a PS4 exclusive. I don't know how that kind of shit works. You know, like it'd be weird to have a character from a PS4 game like on an Xbox game. I don't know, but whatever. That's for them to figure out. That's Marvel's property, so I'm sure they can make it work if they
We'll
want
find
to.
it out. Bum, bum, bum.
That makes me excited. I have to imagine Spider-Man 2 is already in development. And I'm sure you go between Peter and Miles as the playable character, which would be dope. Hopefully Miles has a different power, a slightly different power set, you know.
Was Miles in the comic books?
Oh yeah, he's like the guy that takes up the mantle after Peter dies in the comics. Which yeah, which we might see in the next game, but hopefully not. I mean, that'd be really.
That'd be rough.
I feel like
That'd be really
Peter's
rough
still
and
really
early.
young in that universe, so that'd be crazy if they killed him off this quick. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they switched a lot of stuff up, so it doesn't necessarily have to
Bum,
be that
bum,
way.
bum.
But I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about the death of Peter Parker at the end of our next review. But yeah,
All right.
man.
Final notes.
Final notes.
Final notes.
Go play this fucking game. What are you doing? You know?
For real.
Final notes are like, this game isn't perfect by any means, but it is damn good. One of the best games of the year. Obviously, I still put God of War above this personally, but what were you saying, bro?
I only ran into one glitch on this amazing map. I only got glitched up one time.
Okay, what was
I
that?
thought that was...
Like, what
I
happened?
like. There was only one point where like I was like stuck in a wall. You know, like
okay.
if it was GTA, I'd be stuck in a wall a lot more.
Right. There was also a little bit of slowdown. Like, there was some times when the frame rate dipped and you got a little like, you know, just for a second, and then it went back to normal.
Loading screens. Loading screens are fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I like that the loading screens reflected the suit you were currently wearing. Man, that was such a great touch, because that could have been really like took me out of it when he's wearing the white spider suit if I'm in something else, you know. But
I thought it was my favorite one was when you're talking to the fake Spider-Man on the subway.
yeah, so good, dude. And I like that it reflected what was going on in the game as well. So like during the
like
points,
when you're hiding outside the trains.
Yeah, during the points when Sable was super hard on you, you were like outside the train or like on top of it or something. So good, dude. But we didn't talk about that. What were your like favorite? What was your favorite suit or two favorite suits or whatever? Did you go between any? Or did you go with one?
The ghost suit? Wasn't it the ghost suit? Is that what it's called?
Is that the one with
blue
the
one?
flame?
Yeah, the flaming head.
Oh,
You have
okay.
the flaming head.
Yeah, it was like spirit something. I can't remember.
Spirit suit, maybe? That sounds right. That one, and then I loved all the MK suits, all the bulletproof suits. I loved, I loved all of them. And the comic book one, I haven't even unlocked yet.
Oh, really?
But,
I unlocked that one as
excited.
quick as I could. I haven't used it very much because I was using it, and then there would be cutscenes, and I was like, I can't wear this suit in the cutscenes. I look fucking ridiculous. I have to take this suit off. So
I didn't even see. I didn't read through all the suits. I just kind of, I don't know. You unlock them at different rates too, right?
yeah,
I mean, different weights.
yeah. I wouldn't just unlock one as soon as I got.
I didn't notice it. Didn't notice it right away.
My two I went between the most was the Homecoming suit, which is called the Stark suit in the game, I believe. So that's the suit he wears in the latest movie, Spider-Man: Homecoming, mostly. So that one was really cool. It's got an ability called Spider Bro, and it's like this little drone that comes out and shoots stuff for you, like electrifies them and stuns them so you can beat their ass. And then the second one I went between.
Let me guess.
What?
Octo suit.
Octo suit?
Or whatever.
You mean the black and
four
yellow?
fucking legs.
Oh yeah,
The one
no,
with
the
the
Iron
legs.
Spider suit. Yes, that is. That is the one I went. And that's the power I chose at all times after I unlocked it. It is super OP when you're fighting.
I just unlocked it just a few minutes ago.
Dude.
Oh, before we started this video.
Dude, once you have the legs out and once you start attacking people, it basically like just ignores anything they have. So if they're like shield guys, nope, doesn't matter.
Done.
It's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, the Iron Spider
Like
suit.
knocking people off this building. It was pretty great.
Yeah, hell yeah. The Iron Spider suit and the Homecoming suit was my first love. I feel like that, besides the White Spider suit, I felt like that was the most natural in this world. It looked great. That Spider-Man suit is one of my favorites for sure. So, Stark suit number 1 for me. Iron Spider number 2. White Spider number 3. Those are my top 3. But yeah. That's pretty much our closing thoughts. Yeah, we both gave it 9s out of 10s. So very
9 out of 10.
amazing game. No pun intended. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, so far number 2 game of the year for me. God of War is number 1 still, but very very close second is Spider-Man. I doubt there's gonna be anything the rest of this year that's gonna beat either of these two, just because they had such strong narratives. I like stories just as much as I like stories that can be told with good gameplay, and both Spider-Man and God of War have done that better than any game I've seen before. Like Last of Us, one of the best stories in video games. Uncharted has great story, but both of those games have mediocre gameplay at best. These games knock it out of the park on all fronts, and yeah, I just can't recommend them enough. So this game focuses on Spider-Man and Peter Parker, and I feel like a lot of superhero games focus on the superhero mostly. We don't get a lot of Bruce Wayne's story in the Batman Arkham games, but Peter Parker is like the main focus of this game. It's how he balances his life out as being Spider-Man. So yeah, all the side characters were great. So just a solid world they've built here, and they can do so much with it. So I look forward to the future for this game, for this franchise. And also I will be playing all the DLC as well, so I'll have more on that. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up our review for Spider-Man and our review discussion. So if you guys like that, subscribe, like, comment, hit that little notification bell, all that good stuff. Pretty please helps us out. We're getting back into the swing of things. We went on vacation for a while, so obviously we haven't made a video in like 2 months, but yeah. Until next time, keep fucking that chicken.